Ford has built some models that will run 300,000 miles without flinching, and others that can drain your bank account before 120,000. What if I told you one of Ford's most popular models is known for transmission failures that trigger $5,000 to $9,000 repair bills? That's not exaggeration. Clean-looking F-150s, Focuses, and Explorers get traded in overnight after one breakdown turns a great deal into a financial mistake. Today I'm exposing the 3 worst Ford models to avoid and the 4 best models mechanics quietly recommend. One of them is the most reliable, hiding in plain sight. Worst Ford model number 3 for me has to be the 2011 to 2015 Ford Explorer. And I say that having worked on plenty of these in the shop. When Ford redesigned the Explorer for this generation, they caught a lot of buzz, but things didn't go as smoothly as they hoped. Owners of Explorers dealt with many problems, like glitchy electronics, serious steering and drivetrain issues. One of the biggest problems with these models was the MyTouch Ford infotainment system, the big touchscreen that controlled everything from climate to navigation. Many owners complained that it was freezing or going blank while driving, forcing multiple dealer visits just to get software updates or resets. Some folks had to get the system reflashed multiple times. I had a customer tell me that his 2013 Limited's entire infotainment screen sometimes went blank, including the climate and navigation settings. The dealer had tried multiple software updates, but it kept on coming back. This kind of thing might seem small, but imagine paying for the heat or air and having the system die in the middle of the summer or winter. It gets old fast. Aside from electronics, steering and suspension were also big headaches for some Explorer owners, especially in the early years. Many came into the shop because of power steering assist faults and hard steering while driving. Sometimes drivers dealt with the wheel locking up or losing assistance at highway speeds, sometimes more than once. I had one call where a customer said his steering wheel nearly locked while cruising at 55 miles per hour, and only a restart of the truck got the assist back. That's not the kind of surprise you want behind the wheel. The Explorer's trouble didn't end there. There was even transmission trouble, rough shifting and slipping. Explorers equipped with the 6F50 6-speed automatic have delayed gear engagement, hesitation, and transmission fluid leaks, leading to costly repairs. A shop transmission service or rebuild on these often costs $1,500 to $3,500 or more. I've had a few 2012 to 2014 Explorers roll into the bay where owners tell me they already spent over $2,000 on repairs before coming. If you already own one of these, my practical advice is to keep up with preventative maintenance religiously. That includes regular oil and coolant changes, early attention to transmission fluid, and dealer software updates. But if you're thinking of buying used, be cautious and check the service history. Worst Ford model number 2 on my list is the 2012 to 2016 Ford Focus. And if you've ever spoken to other Ford owners, you would have seen the name of this car come up in conversations about frustrating powertrain problems. What makes this generation of Focus so frustrating is the PowerShift dual-clutch transmission, the automatic gearbox that Ford insisted would give good fuel economy and smooth shifts. But instead, it gave headaches and repair bills. When this model first showed up on my list, it often came with the classic 2.0-liter TI VCT engine and PowerShift DPS6 transmission, a unit that's neither a simple torque converter automatic nor a traditional manual. It's more like 2 manuals in one with 2 clutches trying to swap gears. This is meant to be quick and efficient, but in practice it shuddered, hesitated, jerked, and slipped under normal driving conditions, especially at low speeds out of a stop or when shifting between first and second gear. A 2012 Focus owner even revealed that his model was shaking so bad off the line it felt like someone else was driving the clutch. The transmission problems weren't just in a few models. Ford faced class action lawsuits and extended warranty programs because of this gearbox in the Focus and the Fiesta. Many customers dealt with violent shuddering and rough engagement, sudden hesitation, and even delayed gear engagement that could make merging into traffic feel unsafe. A lot of the trouble traces back to the dry clutch design and the transmission control module. These are electronics that were supposed to manage clutch timing and shifts, but sometimes failed completely, throwing the car into limp mode. As a mechanic, let me tell you straight, the costs on these can add up fast. A software update or TCM flash costs a couple $100 at the shop, and sometimes that smooths things out. But it doesn't really fix the underlying clutch wear. If you're staring down a clutch pack replacement, expect to be in the $1,000 to $2,500 range just for parts and labor. If the whole transmission is worn out, a full rebuild or replacement can easily go $3,500 to $5,000 or more. That's a big bite out of the wallet for a car that might only be worth $5,000 today. I've seen a handful of these Ford Focuses come in with check engine or transmission fault lights, jerky acceleration, and sometimes the car even refuses to move unless you manually push it. One shop customer thought they bought a clean 2012 Focus, only to have the shutter begin the day after they purchased it. If you already own one, keep up with the extended warranty programs, insist on factory software updates, and never ignore early shutter or hesitation symptoms, because those usually get worse over time. And if you're thinking of buying one used, try to avoid the automatic PowerShift model unless you have documented history of the proper transmission service and repairs. Worst Ford model number 1 on my list has to be the Ford Edge, especially the 2007, 2011, and 2015 model years. I've seen way too many of these roll into my shop with serious problems that owners didn't expect when they bought them, from engine failures and water pump nightmares to transmission glitches and electrical gremlins. These Edges can cost big money if you don't know what you're getting into. Back around 2011, Ford was trying to modernize the Edge with new features and tech, but it came with a long list of issues that showed up as these SUVs logged miles. Many owners came into the shop with water pump failures on the 3.5-liter V6 that literally dumped antifreeze into the engine oil because the pump was driven inside the timing chain housing. That's the kind of design flaw that destroys an engine in a heartbeat. One customer spent over $4,000 to replace the engine after a water pump failure caused internal damage. Another with a 2010 Edge with 112,000 miles on it lost coolant, and the dealer said the engine was done because the timing-driven water pump had sprayed coolant right into the crankcase. They needed an entire motor replacement too. While the water pump issue was the most dangerous, it wasn't the only thing affecting 2011 to 2015 owners. Transmission problems and shifting glitches are also part of the picture. On 2015 models, owners dealt with jerky shifts, delayed acceleration, and hard shifts between gears. Then there are the electrical and infotainment headaches. Back in those model years, Ford's My Touch system was notoriously unreliable. Screens would freeze, respond slowly, or crash completely, leaving owners with no climate control or radio until a dealer reflash. The worst part is how fast these small issues stack up into big bills. Simple things like a water pump cost a couple $100 in labor and parts on a lot of cars, but in the Edge's case, having that water pump inside the engine means you're looking at $3,000 to $5,000 to fix the aftermath when it leaks and kills the engine. If you already own one of these troubled gears, preventive maintenance is your best defense. That means checking coolant levels regularly, watching for any sign of oil contamination, and not ignoring odd transmission symptoms early on. A transmission fluid and filter change regularly, about $150 to $250, can keep some drivetrain issues from getting worse. If you see coolant loss, get it checked immediately, because once that internal water pump starts leaking, it's almost always an expensive repair. Now you know the Ford models that you should definitely avoid when you're buying secondhand. Let's talk about the Ford models that you should be looking for instead. But before we go into that, hit the like button and subscribe to support our channel. Best Ford model number 4 on my list is the Ford F-150, especially the 2011 to 2014 and 2018 model years, especially when paired with the 5.0-liter V8 Coyote engine. If you really want a truck that you can rely on, this combo has gained a good reputation. I've seen these trucks last hundreds of thousands of miles without any trouble, as long as they're cared for right. The secret sauce here is the 5.0-liter Coyote V8, a naturally aspirated V8 with a healthy mix of power and longevity. Unlike turbo engines that can get complicated with heat and forced induction parts, this V8 stays straightforward. It has big torque down low, predictable performance, and a design that regularly pushes past 200,000 miles with minimal drama. Now, this is as long as the owner can keep up with oil changes, cooling system care, and the regular tune-up. Many folks with this engine don't have any significant mechanical failures as long as they focus on easy maintenance. One of my regulars brought in their 2012 F-150 with the 5.0 and the 6-speed automatic that had over 180,000 miles on it and still cruised like it was barely broken in. He swapped out the basic maintenance stuff, did a transmission fluid service, and kept the cooling system fresh. And he still drives that truck like a new one. That's the kind of real-world performance you don't always see with smaller engines or more complex transmissions. Sure, no vehicle is perfect. With the 2018 F-150 5.0 and its newer 10-speed automatic, some owners have dealt with transmission-related glitches or software-related quirks. These are often fixed with a fluid change and module replacement that costs a few $100s. Another complaint you might hear from the F-150 owners is the oil consumption or valve train noise on the Coyote V8, but these aren't deal breakers and they can be managed with regular care. Just changing the engine oil at every 5,000 to 7,500 miles, a basic OBD2 scan at service intervals, and attention to any valve train or rattling noises early on can save hundreds to thousands of dollars down the road. What makes these F-150s stand out is serviceability and predictability. There are plenty of parts, most mechanics know these trucks and all their quirks, and you don't need dealer-only tools just to do basic maintenance like some complex turbo and dual clutch setups. A fluid and filter service on the transmission or cooling system tends to be between $150 and $300 at the shop or under $100 DIY. And keeping up with those intervals keeps the big block V8 and the drivetrain working longer. So whether you're hauling gear, towing a trailer, or just driving around town, the 2011 to 2014 and 2018 Ford F-150 with the 5.0-liter V8 Coyote earns its spot as one of the best Ford models you can own. Best Ford model number 3 on my list is the Ford Crown Victoria from 2004 to 2011. And let me tell you, these big V8 sedans have a reputation for lasting a long time when treated right. I've worked on plenty of these old Fords, from old civilian cruisers to retired police interceptors, and many have lasted hundreds of thousands of miles with little more than routine maintenance. The Crown Victoria is always the best choice because of its simplicity and rugged design. Under the hood is Ford's reliable 4.6-liter V8, paired with a traditional automatic like the 4R70W or 4R75E transmission. These are gearboxes with simple hydraulics and proven hardware, not complex dual clutch systems that might cost a fortune to rebuild. Many Crown Vic owners have used their Ford for 250,000, 300,000 miles or more with the original engine and transmission still humming along, especially when the owner changed the fluid regularly and didn't ride it hard every day. If you're looking for a car that's easy to keep running, this is one. The rear-wheel drive layout, robust drivetrain, and straightforward electronics mean you don't need dealer-only tools to do basic maintenance. Change the oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Check the transmission fluid every 30 to 40,000 miles. And address worn suspension parts when they show wear. And these old sedans just keep on going. One guy I saw had a 2006 Crown Vic with over 200,000 miles and only routine brake work and tires. Plenty of Crown Vic drivers praise the platform for durability and low-stress daily use. These out-of-the-box V8s aren't high-revving or turbocharged, which actually helps longevity. The torque is plenty for everyday driving without beating the drivetrain to death. Now, there are a few things you need to watch. Some drivers have dealt with transmission slips or overdrive issues later in life, especially if the fluid wasn't changed regularly. And when those transmissions do finally wear out, a rebuild can cost $2,000 to $3,500 or more. It's not cheap, but when you own a Ford with 200,000 miles on it, it's often less than you'd pay for a blown turbo or a dual clutch nightmare on a more modern model. Also, I always tell owners to check the intake manifold, gasket, and coolant routes. Problems can happen if they're ignored, and an early repair can save several $100s if it's done before it starts damaging other components. Best Ford model number 2 on my list is the 2025 Ford Maverick. You might be wary because it's a new vehicle, but hear me out. The Maverick has quickly built a reputation for value, versatility, and real-world everyday usability that makes it one of the best Ford models you can actually own. I've had a few customers roll into the shop with 2025 Mavericks, some with the 2.0-liter EcoBoost Turbo 4 and 8-speed automatics, others with the hybrid 2.5-liter and CVT-style transmission. People love these trucks because they're compact and easier to park and drive than a full-size pickup. At the same time, they still let you tote a 4,000-pound trailer with the right package, or carry a full load of lumber back from the store. Where the Maverick really shines is fuel economy. And that's not just dealer hype. One hybrid owner I talked to was boasting about his 38 miles per gallon combined fuel economy, something you almost never see even in mid-size sedans. That turns into real savings at the pump. Ford also gave the 2025 Maverick a modern refresh with a large Sync 4 infotainment screen and standard features that used to cost extra on bigger trucks. Many owners are praising the Maverick for its comfortable ride and practicality for a daily driver. Now, no vehicle is perfect, even the Maverick, especially since it's new. There are some hiccups like infotainment freezing or occasional transmission hesitation at low speeds, but these are tied to software that can get updated. Maintaining a 2025 Maverick isn't going to empty your wallet. Basic oil changes, brake checks, and recommended fluid services will keep it running smoothly. Electronics like the sync system can get bug fixes with a software update rather than an expensive hardware swap. Best Ford model number 1 on my list has to be the Ford Escape Hybrid from 2020 to present, which stands out in the practical, real-world sense of reliability and everyday usefulness. What makes the Escape Hybrid stand out right away is its fuel economy. Paired with Ford's Atkinson cycle gasoline engine and electric motor, this crossover can return numbers way above what you'd expect from a traditional SUV. Many Escape owners are seeing 30 to 40 miles per gallon combined in real-world driving. I've seen many owners with well-maintained Escapes like oil changes, transmission checks, and tire rotations, and these are hitting 100,000 miles and beyond without the powertrain giving them grief. Some 2020 Escape hybrids have topped 200,000 miles without major issues. Just routine service and fluid changes, and still going strong. This hybrid powertrain has some advantages over traditional gas trucks because the hybrid system reduces wear on brakes and engine loads with regenerative braking and electric assist torque. It's not too complicated either, and there aren't dozens of clutches or high-stress turbo parts under the hood. Whenever people bring the Escape Hybrid into the shop, it's usually for maintenance instead of big belt or gear failure. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes electronics and infotainment glitches crop up, and early vehicles sometimes have the 12-volt battery issues that require dealer attention, but these are usually covered by warranty if you catch it early. Some owners have also dealt with transmission rattle noise in cold weather, or minor driveline noise, but this is usually fixed with a software update or a module refresh. My advice? Don't ignore any unusual noises, and fix them immediately. Despite these minor issues, I still think the 2020 to present Escape Hybrid earns its place as number 1 on my list of the best Ford models you can own. Now, you know what to buy and what to avoid when choosing a new or used Ford model. Do you already own any of these models? What's your experience with them? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you want more real Ford advice, like which Ford engines you should avoid and which ones you should seek out instead, check out the other videos on my channel.